with the Bellingham Partnership and Lydia Place. We've just really put the Realtor Association on the map. So Cerise, thank you. And if you could come up here for a moment. I have a little something for her, so thank you. Thank you for all that you did this year. And I also want to thank Karen Schweinfurt for coming up from the Everett area. Thank you for generously giving of your time to be with us tonight. I know you're busy, and it means a lot for me that you're here tonight. Yes, that's right. I also want to thank two ladies who did a tremendous amount of work for tonight's banquet. Carmen Denson with Umpqua Bank and Beverly Arnold with Whatcom Title. Now, Bev could not be here tonight, but Carmen is, and she's got a rockin' dress. So Carmen, could you stand and at least just wave? And Carmen, I have a little something for you, just to thank you for your efforts. And she put a lot of, turn around, there you go. So thank you for all that you did. Those ladies worked really, really hard. I also want to thank Travis Rome from Whatcom Title. He did an amazing job. He did the PowerPoint and got the movie, the Viva Las Vegas movie, to work on the big screen there. And he also filled in for Beth while she was gone. Travis, you could stand up, please, and just be acknowledged. Thank you. And I have a little something for you too. This event could not have happened without the three of them. So when you see them, give them a big hug, because they worked really hard to make this event happen. So thank you. I also want to thank the board this year. With Perry's absence, they really stepped up to take on the work to secure the success of the association. Thank you for all that you've done and all that you continue to do. I also want to give special acknowledgement to Jim Graham, who is president-elect this year. Jim Graham, since you're coming, there you are. Thank you. Thank you, Jim, for rising to the challenge and giving generously of yourself to the association. We're a great team, and I'm excited to work with you more this year. Lastly, I want to thank Elvis for being here tonight. If you didn't recognize him, he's Jason York, Chicago Title. Where's Jason? Thank you, Elvis. So I'm honored to be president of this association. I look at the past presidents and see that there's some very big shoes to fill here. When thinking about what it means to serve this association, I think about what underlies it all, the one binding factor. It's the land. It's all about the land. It's the first sentence in the preamble of the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics. Under all is the land. I want to give some context to what that really means. In the Middle Ages, there was a feudal system of government. The lords held vast estates, and their vassals were granted use of the land. The vassals, in exchange, promised to provide military service when called upon and gave their lord a large percentage of the land production. The lord, in turn, pledged his oath to the king. Now, if you read anything about the Middle Ages, you'll know that there's lots of disputes over the centuries as to who got to be the king. Sometimes it was cousin against cousin, brother against brother. Those opposing family factions fought brutal and bloody wars to control who would be named king. Why? Because it was good to be the king. The king got to control everything. If you pleased the king and fought for him, he might reward you with land. If, however, you were on the losing side of a family battle for the crown, the victorious king could take everything away from you. It didn't matter if your family held that land for generations. If you angered the king, you could lose it all. And between the king and the church, there wasn't much land left over. There were no loans. You had to pay cash for the land if it was available for purchase, which it rarely was. Generation after generation, the poor could never change their circumstances. And even if you could somehow come into ownership of land, one false step, one disagreement with the king could take it all away. So now fast forward to our founding fathers. After centuries of this kind of feudal system, they understood how powerful land ownership was. Ownership of land controlled a person's destiny, and by extension, the future of a country. They wrote our Constitution guaranteeing that no one could arbitrarily take away your land. This was a new world order. There was power in owning land, and from that sentiment sprang our democracy and the envy of the world. Today, home ownership is the single biggest asset for the majority of us. It's a major part of many retirement plans. We have financial security when we own our land and a home. We as realtors get to participate in wealth creation for our clients by guiding them in the buying and selling of land and a home. You have a tremendous impact on the financial lives of our clients. It is a privilege to be part of that, but also a big responsibility. That's why we as realtors pledge to uphold the code of ethics. That's why we strive to continually educate ourselves. And that's why many of your fellow realtors have stepped up to fill in for Perry and work even harder with our elected officials to share information so that our elected leaders have a good understanding of the issues and can use that information to make sound decisions for housing in our community. Housing is not a Democratic issue, it's not a Republican issue. Housing is not red, it is not blue. Housing knows no color. So what role does the association play in all of this? My promise to you as president is that as a realtor, you will find value in the meetings that you come to. When you come to a meeting or take a class, they'll be worth your time and you'll walk away knowing something that you didn't know before that will make you a better realtor. When you take part in a golf fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity or Goal for the Food Bank, you can be proud that we as an association are making a difference in our community. That we will take time to acknowledge the tremendous work and dedication of our affiliates and realtors within our association, that we enjoy building those relationships with our peers and industry affiliates, and we have fun doing so. That we'll be advocates for the entire community so that everyone is able to have a home that is affordable to them. That homes are not just for the rich or the fortunate few who qualify for a special limited housing program, but that everyone who has a dream of owning a piece of land or owning a home and wants a place to raise their family can do so. That's my pledge to you. All I ask in return is that you join me in some part of the association. Come to the meetings and hear our great speakers. Learn about what we do in government affairs and how we communicate with our elected officials. Participate in a committee. Help us contribute to our community and help me chart the course for an active, effective, and vibrant Realtor Association. Thank you. So my guess is that this is it's heavy. So this is the official closing of the meeting. But before we kind of do the concluding things, I just, for one thing that we can all agree on is, go Hawks! Yeah.